This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, let's continue the argument that you guys are losing miserably. So I'm talking about the fact that they put a satanic symbol up at the university, at the State House in Minnesota. And a little thing broke out about, if it's a religious symbol, it should be allowed. They said, well, what about the swastika then? Well, that's not. No, try to change it to fit your needs. That's all I'm saying. I don't need a symbol. Do you guys need a symbol to show the world what you believe? It's none of the world's business what I believe. How about that?
I don't, but I know a lot of people feel like they do. Only because, like, when I go to a Wild game or some sporting event, there's always preachers of different like faiths outside saying what they believe is their good word. So like, it's as much as I would love for people to kind of just keep their thing to themselves and like practice whatever they believe in, no matter whether or not I agree or not, personalized. A lot of people feel the need to push it onto other people, which I am not the biggest fan of.
Why do they? You guys can believe whatever you want as long as you leave the kids and the dogs alone. I'm good to go. I've never understood that whole situation. I grew up a Roman Catholic. There are things about the Catholic Church that I liked. There are things about it I didn't like. My mother was a big Roman Catholic. My father was a Baptist, so there are some banging heads going on. Right? Was there anything about my parents' marriage that worked out well? No, there's the answer right there for you. Well, I guess 7 children. I guess that's pretty good.
Yeah, they got that whole thing ironed out.
Yeah, but I just, what the hell happened? You have to know exactly what I think at all times. People are like that. Whether it's, the Christian symbol or the devil symbol or whatever it is. No, you cannot just sit around. You got to know exactly what I'm thinking. What if I don't give a damn what you think? How about that? Does that affect it?
I think that their proper response would be, all right, sweet, turn the other way then.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I should turn the other way because you guys have screwed up everything you've touched. That generation you got going, Jesus, Palomino. I mean, have generation to generation ever gotten along ever? Because there's another whole generation between you guys and me.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever had problems with that kind of thing? People shoving their politics down your throat?
I don't think so. I think it's more like my issue with people is like, are you a nice person? Yes or no?
Right.
And then after that, we can go from there. But I think there is definitely people that will go, well, if you're older or if you're younger, you just aren't going to understand because you're different from me. And they just use that as an excuse not to even have a dialogue with people for sure.
Well, after taking an 11-year hiatus from social media, I hopped back on it for a couple of months, and I'm ready to leave again. People are insane. I mean, I read like 5 or 6 posts this morning on X, and the same amount on one of the other platforms. I don't know what the hell. People, stop being a tough guy at the keyboard, would you please? The old saying again, it stands for you guys, it stands for me, it stands for 99% of people. Everybody thinks they're a tough guy until they meet a tough guy. That's the thing I just love about it. I read some things on social media this morning. It's like, how can you be filled with so much hatred? I'm surprised you can even breathe with all that hatred coming out of you. Why do people want to be that way? It makes no sense. I don't want to hate anybody.
Yeah, well, it's very easy to insult somebody as you're sitting in front of a computer and that other person is, thousands of miles away. But yeah, once you get them face to face, then all of a sudden it's a little bit different. But yeah, people love being kind of the tough guy online, and they can insult whoever and close their phone and go about their day.
Yeah, I think the problem is your algorithm. You need to get on a different like niche. Like I'm on jokes and dumb pictures and
that's good.
Hockey Twitter, where the hot topic right now is these Toronto Maple Leafs players are sponsored by some do you remember, Tevin? I know you absolutely are going to remember these, but Tom, did you ever hear about these like bands that you would put them on? They were called like Power Balance
bracelets.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah,
it was a huge scam, but it was like, if you put this bracelet on. It's going to help your balance and your core center of gravity and everything like that.
Do you believe that?
Oh, it was like a rubber band with a metallic sticker on it. And it was supposed to the ions in your body are going to align. And now, everybody's a professional athlete. Yeah. And everybody had one.
Well, now there's a brand new one of these. It's called it's some sort of amulet, but it's supposed to prevent you from getting RFID scanning waves when you're at the grocery store and other Wi-Fi radiation stuff like that. And there's a couple players that have that. And it's just hilarious because every close-up picture, people are like, I see the amulet. I see him wearing it.
Honest to God. So people actually thought this was going to help them slog through life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a big superstition thing for baseball players because there was fighting necklaces for a while, PHITEN. And it was the same thing. It was just I don't know. It was the placebo effect of you're going to believe and think that you're more well balanced. But in reality, nothing's changed.
There you have it. There's a guy. First thing I saw on social media, a guy named Victor is praising AOC. And again, I don't think AOC's got anything going for her, but this Victor guy does. Am I going to criticize him? No. He has a different life than I do. You can like different people. I got no problem with that. So here, I guarantee you I'm not going to agree with this one. Just a reminder that in 2019, RFK Jr.'s anti-vaccine misinformation campaign helped cause a measles outbreak in Samoa that killed 83 people. Have you ever heard of that before?
Yeah.
You have. He killed 83 people.
He did not. It's a discussion point that you can't. I would say I don't want to say he is the direct. There's probably other outsourcing things, but I know that it's rumored and believed that because of certain discourse that he said in trying to sway people away from certain vaccines, that in a tribe that never had it or a group of people that never had it. Measles returned and some people died because of it. I think you said 83, but if some people believe that it's because of the discourse that he said, there might've been some other factors. I don't know enough on it to have a real opinion on it though.
Yeah. With all of the politicians and stuff that talk about vaccine this or whatever, especially back when it was COVID vaccine was the hot topic. I'll be people, they're not doctors.
Right.
When you go for your annual checkup, you're not making an appointment with Donald Trump. You make it with your doctor.
Yes.
Listen to your physician, not freaking RFK Jr.
But
whoever else.
The argument you have there is, of course, a lot of these people you just talked about, they're physicians. A lot of them are in it for the money and couldn't give a rat's ass about you or me. There are some great doctors. I am very lucky. I've got some great doctors, no question. We don't get political about it or any of that stuff. This whole idea that what went on in China and all the people that were killed because of it, it escaped from the lab and it did that. People have become just bald-faced, phony liars. That's what they do now. People lie their ass off for their own benefit because they've seen other people get away with it. And it's the easy way out. If you're a half-wit, you got half a brain in your head, you're going to fall for that stuff because it's the easy way out for you. Why don't you take the tough way out and help other people? How about that? There you go. Why don't we do that? Works for me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Help your fellow human beings out.
Yeah, that's a good idea, don't you think?
Can't argue with that.
So all you shut the hell up and leave me alone. It's Christmas. It's Christmas time in the city. See, now this show shows you what a professional I am. Been in the business for 54 years. This will show you how professional I am. I'm singing a Christmas song into a commercial about a Jew helping you out. So look at that. I'm bringing all sides together. You see what I'm saying?
'Tis the season.
'Tis the season. Josh Arnold, ladies and gentlemen. That's who we're talking about here. Here's the deal. A message to listeners of the Tom Barnard Show. I have an announcement for you. I need just 5 of you. I said just 5 of you. It's not that big a deal. Listening, do me a favor. Yourselves a favor, too. And by the way, it's a much bigger favor for you than it is for me, but I still appreciate it. I need to take advantage of a free offer. Seriously, it is free. I need you to call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608. Tell him that Tom sent you. Josh will meet with you for free Let me say that again, for free, and give you advice on investing, handling, and making money. He'll answer any and all of your questions about retirement, your 401k, IRA, retirement savings, and it's free. What do you have to lose? And I'm talking, I like this line. I'm talking to you. You hear me? I like that. Well written. Be one of my 5 listeners to pick up your phone now and call 952-925-5608 and ask for Josh, Mr. Money Talk. He'll give you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your investments for free. So call Josh now at 952-925-5608. But you got to tell him Tom sent you, then call me afterward. And, of course, you can thank me for the free service. You know what I'm saying. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, LLC security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. And I am a paid endorser.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you talk to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Let's take a second. Let's talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company. If you own a business or are thinking about starting one, make sure to check out my friends at North American Banking Company. When your business is looking to capitalize on an opportunity or solve a problem, turn to their experts like Bilski, because they are locally owned and operated. Loan decisions are made here in the Twin Cities, not shipped out of state. Very helpful. This helps business owners expand with confidence. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So, if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Just go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Here's the big info. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Judd Zulgad. What do you think?
Very impressive. Very impressive.
You know, I used to do a lot of that, the stadium announcing. And God, I was trying to think of who it was. He played for the Kansas City Chiefs, Minnesota boy, big fella. I used to lift weights with him. A really, really great guy. But he came back after a season. He goes, "Oh my God, I couldn't get away from you all the season long," because that was the, I obviously wasn't in. It was all pre-recorded. Yeah. But I was the stadium announcer for the Kansas City Chiefs stadium. So he said I had to listen to your voice through the whole game, distracting me. So, well, thanks. Yeah, so I distracted you. Is that what you're saying?
Thanks a lot for that.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. Yeah, that kind of stuff, you know.
All the in-game, like...
yes. Yep.
Stuff. Well, that's great.
It was fun back in the old days until the psychopaths went after your boy. You know, it all worked out in the end. Oh, so what's happening with you, Judd?
Well... The big news last night, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Kirk Cousins' tenure as the Atlanta Falcons starting quarterback has come to an abrupt end. He's been benched. God, $100 million guaranteed from the Falcons, and they're not they're not going to get a full season from him. And I don't know how I would guess that there's going to be a divorce in the off season, but that's a lot of money to spend. It's a lot of money to spend.
Yeah, I don't really understand why you would give anybody $100 million when there's no proof he's going to be any good.
Yeah, or you're going to draft a quarterback in the first round, which is what they did, which is who they're going to turn to. Michael Penix Jr. is their starter against the Giants on Sunday. Yeah, it's the whole thing's bizarre, and he's coming off an Achilles, and he's 36 years old. And it's funny, though, because, in 2018 when the Vikings signed him because they had been to the NFC Championship game in 2017, and they thought, okay, Kirk Cousins is going to be the final piece to the puzzle. And he had a disappointing they had a disappointing season. He put up good stats, but didn't do a lot else. And in that case, the Vikings fired their offensive coordinator, John DeFilippo, at the time.
Right.
This time around, the Falcons are like, screw that. We're just going to bench the quarterback.
Yeah, that whole deal was just. Like I told you, I ran into the guy one time. I was at a restaurant and he was sitting at the next table.
Yeah.
How that guy didn't get broken in half? He's a little skinny guy. I mean, he's not short, but he's skinnier than hell.
Yeah, he's very thin. I was always amazed because you don't think of him as being that thin, but he was. No, you're right. You're right.
He's lucky he didn't get broken in half in some of these games, I'll tell you that.
He never got hurt till last year. It was incredible. He never got hurt. Part of his cachet was the fact that he started every game.
No doubt, but has it always been a quarterback problem for us? I mean, obviously the Fran Tarkenens, Tommy Kramers of the world, and go down the list of people.
Yeah.
We've had some good quarterbacks, but we just can't bring her over the threshold for some reason.
Well, that's hopefully the difference now between now with Kevin O'Connell. But yeah, you're right. Like after Tarkington, it just became this, Kramer for a while and Wade Wilson. But then starting with the 90s, it was a carousel.
Oh, God.
And, Cunningham, phenomenal in 98, falls apart in 99. Then you have Jeff George. Then he doesn't come back. Culpepper was, for a brief period,
right.
Culpepper was really good. But you're right. It's been a carousel of quarterbacks.
Not a big fan of mine.
What's that?
It's quarterbacks for the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh.
Although Tommy Kramer and I get along really, really. Tommy Kramer did something one time, and you just gave me this wonderful memory. We were at some function. I can't remember what it was, but, Ahmad Rashad was there, and Tommy Kramer was there, and it was a big deal Viking thing. And my mother always wanted to go to one of those deals. I said, Mom, you don't even know who the Vikings are. Well, you guys love them, and I want to go to one of those things with you. I said, well, I can bring you if you want. Yes, I want to go definitely. We walk in. Tommy Kramer walks up. He goes, Tommy, how you doing? I said, not too bad, Tommy. He goes, who's this? I said, it's my mother. He reaches over, picks her up like 3 feet in the air and goes, I love you, Toots. It was the greatest.
Did he really?
Yes, he did. It was so sweet of him to do that. What a great memory that is. My mother, her feet dangling up in the air. Like,
how surprised was she?
Oh, she was very surprised. Yes, there's no question. She was very, very surprised. No question about it. And then the other thing, that very, very same night, I talk about Cliff Siegel. He's a friend of mine. Well, again, he's a woman now. So even though he was a man then, it went on, do I say she was a man then? Is that what I say?
That's a good question. I don't know.
But anyway, Cliff walks up. His name at the time was Cliff. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, his name is private now, or her name is private now, I guess, so I don't want to, But in any case, he walks up to Ahmad Rashad, and he said, Ahmad, I got to tell you something. My buddy Tom here, you see him down there with his mother? It's one of the best receivers I've ever seen. And Ahmad leans in and goes, shh, don't tell Bud. What a great, those nights used to be, well, you must go through those, you guys must go to some of those functions and hang out with these people, and it's always a lot of fun.
They're not as frequent as they used to be, and they're a little bit more. Yeah, it's a different world now.
It's too bad because connection with the public, I think, is very, very important.
Sure,
and they don't get much anymore. They really don't. But yeah, those gatherings were phenomenal, no question about it.
Yeah, I think players in sports they still do charity work and things like that, and go to kids' hospitals and things. But yeah, I don't think there's as much like what you're talking about, which is sort of the more casual, not as expensive gathering of athletes in the public.
Yes. That's exactly it.
I don't know that those are they're still around. I just don't know that they're nearly as frequent and frequented by the same people as they used to be.
What was that peanut bar down there on 494? Oh God,
Ground Round?
Was it the Ground Round?
Yeah,
is that what it was?
That was not far from the stadium and Met Center, right?
And it didn't not Max Winter, but Max, what's his name?
Max McGee.
Max McGee. There you go.
Yeah. He started what became Chi-Chi's because it was Maximilians, right?
Maximilians, there you go. Great times, man. That's all I have to say. Great times. And I have gotten about 6,000 emails this morning from people pointing out that my good friend Nick Swardson, who's coming to hang out with Uncle Tommy in about another month, somewhere in there, I guess he has nailed every call all year long. I haven't checked it out yet, but apparently he had him at 12-2 long. I guess he's just nailing it this year. What's that all about?
Yeah, I saw he was on a show before the season, and he predicted they'd go 15-2.
He really did.
Yeah.
Swardson, get off your ass. Go get a job, for Christ's sake.
He also last year, the year before last, the year before that, the year before that, also said that they were going to win the Super Bowl and go 15-2. But yes, we will give him his flowers for getting it.
That's what I was going to say. I think we talked about this. Yeah, he's a tremendous Vikings fan, and I think he just predicts that they're going to win 15 games. And it's looking now like he might be right.
Yeah, he sounds a lot like a middle school, high school Tevin did back in the day. Where
okay.
I think we might go undefeated this year.
Yeah,
that is true. These prognosticators, you kind of forget that. Well, he was wrong the last 19 years, but now this year,
this year
that counts.
Well, yeah. Don't forget what I said, or forget what I said last year. The year before that.
Yeah.
But this year, 15 wins.
Last year I was lying. This year I'm telling the truth. Yeah.
Can I be honest with you guys, and maybe people get pissed off at me for this? Don't ever wear those white uniforms again. You look like you were the cleanup crew coming in to hose off the deck.
Oh, you didn't like them?
Ugh. Very boring. I like the blue. I like the gold. Purple and gold.
The purple and gold, yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Winter whiteout. Oh, well, the thing is the ship has sailed on that because every time that you wear stuff like that now in pro sports, it's more merchandise to sell.
Well, that's true. You're absolutely.
So now people will buy. Yeah. Now that wasn't the first time in franchise history, which of course goes back to 1961, that they have ever worn white helmets.
Right. It was 19. What did you say? What year was it? When
61.
61.
They've never worn.
Oh, I thought they did.
They've never worn white helmets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They had worn. So this is like the third or fourth year that they've done what they call their winter whiteout, but it has it's always just been white uniforms until now, and that they did because the league actually had some rules about changing helmets that you couldn't for a while there, and now you can again, but. I don't know. Can you sell? I don't know if the helmets are I'm sure they're available for purchase. They're very expensive, but I don't know if that's as big of marketing thing. But I know that the jerseys in sports, that's why all these teams have 15 jerseys now.
So you got to buy them all?
Yes.
No, I don't think I'd be wandering down the street wearing a white football helmet. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be doing that.
Well, no, it's usually those things you see where they get them all signed during training camp.
Yeah,
put it on the wall or in a case or something.
It's true, no question. Do you guys ever used to receive that kind of stuff? Like all of a sudden, I'd get this box in the mail, and I'd open it up, and there'd be a football signed by Tommy Kramer or whatever. That's very, very cool.
Not in the mail, but from the time I was 8 years old till probably 16, every year I would go to a Minnesota Vikings football camp where college scouts and stuff, and the players would come and talk to us. And so I have endless numbers of footballs signed by just random Vikings.
Yep.
The mid 90s to late 2000s.
It's very, very cool for a young kid to go through all that, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. I thought I remember playing flag football with Michael Bennett, who was the fastest man ever to play the game of football at the time, and being able to two-hand touch him down, and I was like, yeah, I'm the fastest guy.
Yeah, there you go. Now it's you. There was a place called Size Menswear on West Broadway, just east of Lyndale Avenue. That's the first time, I believe I was 10 years old, I saw that this guy was appearing there. So who's that? So I went in there and met Fran Tarkenton.
Really?
He was doing an appearance there. He had Size Menswear on West Broadway. Could not have been nicer, but I had no idea who the hell he was because this was 1961, and I didn't know we had a football team.
Oh, funny.
So but that was my introduction to the NFL, was shaking hands with Fran Tarkenton. So that's not a bad place to start.
I was just gonna say that's not bad, and that's a young Tarkington. Then that's very young Tarkington, just out of college.
He's a very young Tom too, because I think actually I was 9, not 10, but
yeah,
it all worked out in the end. But that's the one thing about sports too, the great memories. I mean, there are some horrible memories too. There's no question about that if you follow a sports team. But I think the number one thing for me in sports, I love watching sports, but it also has to do with supporting the community and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
What are sports going to do? Because nobody wants to support anything anymore other than themselves. Is everybody going to have their own personal football team?
Sports are still pretty good though, as far as like it's one of the few things left that still I think galvanizes.
Good.
Like it's what makes sports great is that it for the most part, not completely, but for the most part, it doesn't. If you're a fan of a team, your political affiliation doesn't matter. You've got a commonality with your fellow human if you like the same team.
Right.
That's one of the few things left. It's why sports is great.
In sports, the number one thing that I ever saw that blew everything else away, and it was not a professional sports thing, it was a gym thing. Mm-hmm. Going to the gym. Was it a YWCA then? I think in North Minneapolis, it's a YWCA, isn't it? It's not a YMCA.
I believe they have both.
Do they have both now?
I believe so.
That makes sense. But the most amazing thing that I've ever seen, and I should probably not use the guy's name anyway because he's a private citizen, but this was when I was about 19, so it was quite a while ago. There was a young guy playing basketball with us, and he was 5'5". We're playing basketball. He's a guard. He dunked a basketball. Now, you tell me how the hell you get up 3 feet, because he had to go up at least 3 feet. His feet had to be 3 feet off the deck.
Yeah.
Think about that. I mean, unless he had the longest arms in history. I will never forget watching that guy dunk a basketball. I'm like, I just went home. I was like, I have nowhere near enough talent to be here. I got to go home.
I was going to say, that would force me off the floor as well.
Oh, God, yes.
Be like, that's it for me.
I don't even belong. The ones that I always loved were the ones we played at Ascension School. And about half the guys, these are teenagers, about half of them would show up drunk. I'm like, what the hell? That's real nice. Let's play some basketball. Why, so you can throw up on my shoes?
That's what I was going to say. How do you play basketball with drunk? That's far too much physical exertion to try to do while inebriated.
It's true. It's all true. All right, so we got three football games left this month.
Yep, Seattle on Sunday, and then the Packers here, and then the Lions in the finale in Detroit.
Any way we sweep that?
Well, with the way they've been going, yes, but it's going to be difficult. I don't know. It's a difficult sled. I mean, those are three good teams. The last two teams, Green Bay's playing really well. Detroit is injured beyond belief, but that's not an easy game. So if they sweep that and go 15-2, it will be one of the most miraculous seasons in Vikings history, including 98, because that 98 team, I don't think 15-1 was expected, but it certainly had more going for it as far as what people thought of it going into that season than this team, which was predicted to win 6.5 games.
Yeah, that is true. 6.5 games. That was the prediction. Although, Tevin and AJ, I think they had them going 15-3 or 15-2. I mean, excuse me. So
I thought AJ said 16-1. That's what I heard.
Oh, 16-1. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
just one slip up. Everybody's gonna have a slip up, but yeah,
not Nick.
It's all true. I don't know. It is exciting though, coming into that, the biggest and best part of the NFL season, the final few games, and the playoffs, and then the Super Bowl. And it's like, man, that's great football, no doubt about it.
Exactly right. Yeah, the first. So there's 7 teams from each conference in the playoffs now, and in the first round, 6 in each conference play, and it's now called Super Wildcard Weekend. You talk about a voice thing.
That's a voiceover opportunity.
Super Wildcard Weekend.
Yeah, too bad. Look on Wikipedia, see what my chances are of getting hired to do that.
We'll change that, and then we'll submit your application. Yeah,
huge. Yeah, exactly right. Just change the page. Say Tom Barnard is a huge football fan.
Yes.
Would love to say Super Wild Card Weekend over and over again.
Yes, he's a super football fan.
That'll never beat when I used to do movie trailers. And I had people coming up to me on the street going to me because it was at close range. I did this one movie, and the last line in the movie trailer was, because it was the father and the son. It was Sean Penn, and who the hell was his dad in that movie? Very famous.
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken. That's exactly who it was. So the last line in it, and so people would literally come up to me on the street and go, "Tommy, like father, like son, like hell." Huh? What do you think of that?
Oh,
yeah,
I
baby.
love it.
As a matter of fact, somebody posted it up on social media. That movie trailer's up on social media. It's hilarious. It's like, settle down, you pill. That was a good movie. Did you ever see the movie?
No, but that's
At
a great
Close
line.
Range?
I like that line.
It was a good movie. Well, Christopher Walken's not bad in any movie he's ever
No,
made.
he's not.
And Sean Penn's got some talent too, so that's good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good combination. And but I love that last line. That's a great last line.
It is very well written. There's no question about it. So, any closing words, sir?
No, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. We can preview Karl Anthony Towns coming back to town to play with the Knicks against the Wolves in a game that I'm sure is going to be very interesting.
He is going to get booed like the MF. Absolutely, they are going to light him up.
We'll talk about that tomorrow. All right, guys.
We'll talk about it tomorrow, Joe. Thank you, sir.
See ya. Bye.
We'll take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Like a what was that again?
Like a MFer.
Like an MFer. Okay,
just going to let him have it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Multifaceted? Is that what MF stands
for? Multifaceted booze will be coming.
Okay, well, I like that. My Pillow, glad to announce that their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They will not last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers that haven't been on sale for over a year. Regular price $119.98. They're now only $59.98. The 6-pack towel sets are back in stock, extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list, from bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Be sure to use promo code TOM to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or the 6-pack towel sets for just $29.98. But that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025, plus all orders over $75 or more. Well, they ship absolutely free. Go to MyPillow.com, call 800-516-5146 today, and use promo code TOM.
This is Brett Paul from Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley. We've always had a professional sales staff on our show floors, but recently have added a few more to the arsenal. Neil Hadding was a salesperson at Valley for over 2 decades, probably the best truck guy around. He left for a manager position elsewhere, but decided to kick back and return to work with thousands of his old friends and customers. It's a similar story with Tim Condon. He spent many years in the sales and finance at Valley before spending time in Alaska, to the relief of many, many friends and customers who returned a few years back. Not a returnee, but a welcome addition to our seasoned staff, is Charlie Fink. Charlie followed Neil to Apple Valley to head up the finance department. He is well known to many Twin City car customers after being in the business for over 3 decades. If you're looking for a familiar face or just the face of experience, visit one of these professionals at Jim Paul's Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings, or at valleycardealers.com.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. Okay, I got to run something by you because it's one thing about having listeners at your job. When people are actually tuning in to listen to you at your job, you get things from them because now I feel like vomiting. But other than that, okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Somebody sent me this. It's about sloths. You guys know anything about sloths?
Like the animal?
Like they're slow.
Yes. They're slow.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're not always slow.
They
There's
smell.
something they smell, do they? I've never smelled a sloth.
Yeah. Don't they
Yes.
have poop in their fur at all times?
Well, possibly.
Could-
Possibility.
I could confirm that based on the smell, AJ, but go ahead, Tom.
Sloths are famous for being slow and lazy, but they are super fast when it comes to sex.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, you said coitus, so that's good. How long, when a sloth has sex with another sloth, how long does it take for him to ejaculate?
Depends what the other sloth.
What's the measurement here?
It depends
2
what the
seconds.
other sloth is wearing.
How much foreplay was involved?
Right. How much does he love the other sloth?
I just, why don't you
Was
guys
the other
shut up? I
sloth
hate all of you.
Being sexy.
Promiscuous sloth.
How many drinks has he had before getting into bed with another sloth?
I don't think you guys have been drinking. Did she whip out a titty? Oh, why don't you guys settle down?
How thick is that?
How long, Tom? How long?
God, good God. I'm not telling you. You're all out of it. It's none of your damn business. None of you.
Oh, I need to
No,
know.
actually. You need to know?
I need to know.
The average duration of sloth sex is 6 seconds.
All right, who's been watching?
Yeah, who's been watching? That's a good point.
Imagine
That's a very good point.
scientists that's
Yep.
their job. Hey, Tim, we've got a new task for you. We need you to narrow down exactly how long
Yeah.
a sloth.
Great news, guys. The funding is state-approved funding for the sloth sex experiment.
You know what we got to do? And I'm very serious about this. Let's start a band, the four of us, just like the Beatles. There'll be four of
Okay.
us.
Yep.
And we'll call our first song Sloth Sex, and we'll release it, and the song will be 6 seconds long. What do you
I
think?
love it.
Ooh, that's a punk rock thing to do.
It kind of is, yes.
It's a very punk rock thing to do.
A 6 seconds of, we're having sloth sex, we're having... Oops,
Just
sorry.
come
I wanted
on.
the 6 seconds. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, I did not know that, and thank you so much for all the people who sent that to me. Now I know all about sloth sex. Thank you. Really appreciate
So
it.
the Como Zoo and Conservatory has a sloth by the name of Chloe, and Chloe is kind of like one of their ambassador animals.
Okay.
So I've encountered Chloe quite a few times in life because they'll bring it over here to the TV station from time to time, and Chloe slobbers a lot. I mean, a lot
ish.
And there's definitely she's fairly ripe.
Ripe, as in funky. Give up
Yeah.
the funk.
Yeah.
Right. Perfect.
Like back to AJ's covered in poop thing. I don't know about that. I can't confirm that, but
He's making
AJ,
up
what
as
are you
he's
looking
going
up?
along.
Sloth sex videos over there? Sorry, we're
We'll be
disturbing.
done in 6 seconds. Don't
No,
worry.
I just as the show goes on, just to stay up to date, a description. So I just typed out the sentence. Chris Egert learns from Tom about how long sloths are able to last in bed. Yes, you read that right.
So there you go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great to be
I
here.
love me a good sloth sex video.
There's no question about it. 6 seconds and all.
Or was that out loud? Sorry.
Was that out loud?
Sorry, Hannah.
Whoops. Yeah, Hannah's life is ruined now.
My bad.
Oh, listen to her in the background there. Hannah's like,
I'm glad that Hannah's here. Is she able to like retroactively go back and look at city traffic cameras? Because I need her to check it at 1:15 a.m. on Saturday.
The technology exists, but we don't have it.
We don't.
I can answer that for her.
That description.
Because I was driving north on Highway 35 on Saturday at 1:15 a.m. and a car was coming south on the northbound side.
Oh, God.
The wrong way and almost hit me.
Ooh.
And so I was like, I wonder if something happened to that individual as they were driving the wrong way.
I know. I've seen that a few times working this shift.
Same.
Drive on the other side
Yeah.
of the road.
Really?
How do you even get there? Like that's you.
I don't know. Like, how drunk are you? Right?
Yeah.
Like, let's assume.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I got to be honest with you, Chris. That bent over stance you're taking right now does not look too good on camera.
Yeah. Why are you hiding?
Well, it's weird. I want Hannah
We can
to
see Hannah.
I want you guys to see Hannah. It feels
We
weird.
can
Like
see
my
Hannah.
giant
She's funny.
face is in the screen.
I watched her yesterday. That's one thing that I do love, by the way, is no matter where you are in the world, you can watch like Channel 5 Eyewitness News. I really like that. And I was watching yesterday. Hannah, you were kind of pushing people around. Yeah, it's the weather. It's none of your business. I love that.
She does that a lot. She's very bossy.
Do you do that a lot? Bossy with the weather.
Yeah, no, she's very like, you can tell from her personality. Like, she'll come out and she'll just be like shaming people, and she's very
for the traffic,
overbearing. Yeah, right.
Traffic. You know, they never had that when I was a kid. Were there not enough people here? They just never had traffic.
You weren't paying attention. There was traffic.
That is true because I don't pay attention.
Because you're a kid, you don't care, right?
Yeah,
like,
you're a kid, you don't.
Mom and dad care, but
they do. You're absolutely right.
What are you looking at a sloth video now too, Tom?
No, I have one of those watches that I use for exercise and all that. But it kicked into this high gear thing that has to alert me of everything. Oh my God, the wind just blew. Like, yeah, whatever. Leave me alone. But it doesn't make any noise. It just kind of vibrates on my wrist,
Mine
which
doesn't
is
do that. That must be fancy, Tom Barnard.
Oh, the big dough. That's exactly right. Catherine bought it for me, so I don't know.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So Hannah, how's it going at the house?
It's going well. I have the Christmas tree up, wrapped the gifts.
Okay.
Say, was your husband's birthday yesterday? Correct?
Yeah.
Yesterday was his birthday?
Oh my God, that post made me feel so freaking old. I was like, Hannah's husband's 30?
I'm a cougar. I turned 30 a month and a half ago.
Oh, look at you.
You turned 30 a month and a half ago? Okay.
And baby number 2 on the way. Everything's looking good. When do you do again?
Good. I do at the end of May. So another May baby. Yep.
Wait a minute. What day is your birthday?
October 28th.
God, mine's I thought yours was going to be on November 7th. That's when mine is, because you said a month and a half ago. Is it?
Yeah.
See? Keeping everybody under control with the, what is that?
What do you think of Tom's new haircut?
Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Yeah, I got a haircut. You see that?
I love it. I love it. It looks
I got
great.
a haircut.
It looks really nice.
It's really, really nice. There's no question about it. And I have a good time because I sit and talk to the barbers, and the barbers all have that deep Southern accent. Some of y'all never been down south too much.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're saying. Yep.
I do miss that.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to downtown Lakeville and you go to the barber shop, my photo is on the wall there.
Oh, gee, here we go.
Okay.
Whoa!
I'm famous.
They're huge fans, and my dad and brother go there, so they asked for a photo.
I will tell you something.
Are you the only person on the wall?
No, it's like Timberwolves players and other people. I'm like, why am I
You're
up
just
here?
next to like Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, next to Ant. Yeah, I'm like, no, take me down. Take me down.
Did somebody tell you my story? Is that why you did this?
Did what?
Very similar thing happened to me. My picture was up in a barbershop in downtown Minneapolis. It's all true. And I walk in there one day, and I look over at the wall, and someone had written "a-hole," only the entire word, across my picture. And I'm like, what do you do? What's that all about? And he goes, actually, Bill did that just to piss you off. So it wasn't somebody that did it. They did it just to nice people I got, nice friends I got, huh?
Yeah, it sounds like a good place to me.
Sounds like
No, it actually is a really good place. No question about it. No question. Matter of fact, it's Meat Sauce's, I think, Meat Sauce's uncle or somebody like that.
Oh, really?
Yep, absolutely. So it's all in the family. That's all I know. All right. So, Hannah.
Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up. The good news report is over today.
Way to go, Hannah. You ruined everything.
She ruined anything.
I'm sorry.
It's all because of the stupid sloth sex story, Tom.
But I'm very serious. I watch the Channel 5 Eyewitness News wherever I am in the United States of America, because you can do that now. And here comes Jude sneaking in because he heard Hannah was on. Did you see him sneak in?
So cute.
Judy. There he is. You can see him in the background there. Honest to God. All right, Egert wants to go home now, so we better let him go.
Yeah, we better go do our other jobs now.
Another job.
All right.
All right, we'll talk to you both later.
Bye.
Big babies. That's all I have to say of big babies, right?
Right. 100%. 100%.
That is so cool, though, that you can go anywhere now. I'm assuming in the world, because I can get European news and news from China and all the rest of it. But that's so nice. You're able to watch your local news no matter where you are in the United States of America. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty swell.
Yeah, we've come a long way from you have to live in a specific county in a specific state to now you can be all over the world and probably in space and watch it.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. Yep, work some very nice people over there at the number 5, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Except that one prick. I can't remember his name. There's one guy's a flaming asshole, but...
Yeah, Chris.
He was just
he was just on, Tom. What are you talking about? Whatever. Do you think anybody will ever adjust to the fact that I tend to be very open and honest about if I think the guy's a pain in the ass, that I don't really hide it too much?
Yeah, I'm sure people get used to it.
Yeah, it's nice to know where you stand.
None of your business. Thank you very much. Great to be here. All right, so what else is happening?
I don't know. You want to take a quick break here? We'll come back and get Dougie on the show.
We're going to get Dougie on the show?
We can. I mean, I can kick him from the studio, too, if you want.
Swing and a miss. That's all I've got to say. Why don't we do that? We'll be right back in a couple of seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, Dougie will join us right after this.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You are, and oh, look who's joining us from home. Big shot.
Oh, look who's talking.
Yeah, well, who built the thing, you or me, brother?
Okay.
See? I like
now you
that.
made me feel bad a week before Christmas. Thanks, Tom.
Actually, it's not even a week till Christmas. It's 6 days, so I really...
Stop correcting me.
Forget it. You're out of the mix. Who did the woodwork at your house? I like that woodwork.
This is my sunroom. We put the floor in right before we moved in. The rest of it was all here before. It's just, when you guys get back, you got to come down. You'll love this place.
Well, I like the town it's in. I didn't say what town it's in, but I love that town.
You can say Red Wing. I don't care.
I love Red Wing.
You do realize with an unusual name in Google, you can pretty much figure out anything about somebody.
Well, I suppose that's probably true.
Oh, my name was Bill Johnson. It might be a little tough, but
in the state of Minnesota. What are the odds yesterday? I ran into a guy. He goes, "Where are you from?" I said, "Minnesota." He goes, "Oh, I'm Minnesota. Yeah, a lot of Scandinavian." He said, "Yeah, those pains in the ass." He goes, "I'm Scandinavian." It's like, hopefully you realize that was a joke, whether you're Scandinavian or not. My son-in-law is Scandinavian, so it'd be a little hard to go after the Scandos, don't you think?
well, and your Mike is a comedian, right? He's got a good sense of humor.
Let me think about it. I'll get back to you. We'll get back to you on that one. This is the good news for the listeners, though, ladies and gentlemen. Save up to 70% off your holiday shopping with the Tom Barnard Holiday Auction online. It's an online auction. Works very, very well. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword auction to register now. Bidding starts, well, it started last week, as a matter of fact. You wouldn't want to update the copy, though, sitting around on their holiday asses over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Bernie.
Yeah, way to go, Bernie, you pill. Well, it runs through tomorrow. So there you go. That's why I wanted to make sure it runs through tomorrow.
Yep.
Thousands of dollars of items will be up for bids this 1 week only. Ultimate Golf Package at Deer Run Golf Club. I love playing Deer Run. It's a lot of fun. It's valued at $6,750, as a matter of fact. Free golf lesson and 10-hour peak punch pass from Swing Lab, valued at $520. Stoked cookout packages, including barbecue pellets, fire starters, oak firewood, and a barbecue caddy. Ooh, a barbecue caddy. Now we're talking.
Have you seen those? They're actually really nifty. They're like kind of everything you want in one barbecue package. I'm going to probably get one for my dad for Christmas.
No, we're talking. Free education with a certificate program at the Institute for Non-Destructive Testing, valued at $12,045. Remember, visit TomBarnardShow.com and enter keyword auction to view items and bid. It's a great thing, no question about it. Golf season, let's get that rolling again, right?
Yeah. Ducky, are you a golfer at all or no?
Well, let me just turn my camera around.
Oh.
And we live on the 18th tee box at the Red Wing Golf Course.
Okay, so are you a golfer at all?
Right.
Hey, great flex about where you live. But
I know.
I'm rich.
No, it's yes. I used to play a lot, and I'm going to start again. As a matter of fact,
awesome. That's good to hear.
Doug and I both take a couple of years off because of some wonderful people we've worked with. But anyway, moving forward.
Yeah, it was about. I actually stopped when my kids were born because I used to be addicted. I would get up at 5 a.m. and play 18 holes, and then go to work at 8:30 in the morning for 10 hours. I loved it. It was great.
There was a guy at Golden Valley Country Club. I don't know if he's still there or not. I just am not around. But on my way into work, when the earliest the sun ever comes up was like 10 after 5 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, you can usually play about 5:30 or so in the middle of June. Yep.
I'd be on my way into the queue, go by Golden Valley Country Club, and every day there'd be a guy out there at like 5:15, 5:30, whatever it was. Well, it had to be 5:15 because I was on the air at 5:30. But he would play walking the golf course by himself every day. And I guess he played in like 2 hours, the entire 18 holes.
Yeah, that's what I do in about 2.5.
That's phenomenal.
Well, if you're by yourself and there's nobody ahead of you and you're half decent and you play the same course, even when you hit an errant shot, you know where it's going to wind up.
Yeah.
I can't wait to start playing again. I gave up golf for like 7 years.
Can I tell you my best golf story?
I'm ready.
I had a young lady for a sleepover on a Saturday night. This is a million years ago. And some friends of mine were coming by. We were going to play golf. We had like a 8 o'clock tee time. So I got up and had coffee and I said, hey, I'm going to go play golf. Guys are coming over. Stick around if you want, and we can do something when I get back. So we get back at 1 o'clock, and she's just pissed. And there's smoke coming out of her ears. And I'm like, hey, Karen, what's up? And I finally got it out of her. She goes, where the hell have you been? I said, I was up playing golf. I told you. And she said, for 4.5 hours? I said, yeah, that's how long it takes.
I had to drive there. I had to play.
No idea that the golf round was 4 hours long.
No, it's absolutely true. But it's, one of the great things that I got to do in my life was play golf several times with Louis Anderson. Oh, my God. Louis was as good as it got. And he did something for me one time that I'll never forget. Kendall Norberg. I don't know. You guys know Kendall. I think you know.
I know
him.
Kendall.
Yeah,
Mr. Norberg, I call him.
Yeah, Mr. Norberg. That's what we call him. But he and Louis Anderson sent me his golf clubs. They were actually Jackie Gleason's original golf clubs.
Wow.
He said he ships them to me so I can play a round of golf with Kendall Norberg, with Jackie Gleason's. And what did it say on the back of every club?
The greatest?
The great one.
The
Very
great
good.
one.
The great one on the back of every club. But typical of Tommy's happy days, right? So we're playing with Jackie Gleason. I adored Jackie Gleason. I adored Louis Anderson. And there was one more person that I adored in Hollywood. Just thought he was the king of the world. Kendall and I are on the 18th tee. We're almost done with the round. We're having a ball just hitting Jackie Gleason's, and we're all, let me tell you something, pal. We're all doing the accent and the whole deal, just having fun. And here comes the head pro. And I'm going, oh, are we making too much noise? I don't think so. We haven't taken too long, so that can't be what it is. And he pulls up and he goes, Tommy, I got some bad news for you, man. I said, I'm almost done with the round. Couldn't you wait until after the round is over? He goes, nope. I knew you'd want to know this. I just got notification that Marlon Brando died.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm having this wonderful time, just having a grand old time playing golf with Jackie Gleason's golf clubs, one of my best friends in the world, Kendall Norberg, Louis Anderson I love, and then Marlon Brando has to die on me while I'm playing golf. It's not fair.
So do you think it was intentional? Do you think he just sort of...
I think he killed himself just to piss me off.
I wouldn't be surprised.
What are you going to do? There's some great golf stories out there, though, man. That's one thing about golf. There are a lot of great golf stories in golf, don't you think?
Oh yeah, no, it's a great game. Although I hated playing Sunday afternoon. I can't stand being on a course for 6 hours long.
No, I agree with you. I can't do it either. There's no
Back
question about it.
In the mid '80s, when my first tour of duty with Walzer, Jack Walzer, Paul and Andrew's dad, decided to have a company-wide golf tournament. So we rented out Rolling Hills, or that went out by Hamel, and it wasn't a tourney; it was straight golf. So and free liquor cart. After about 2 hours, there's guys throwing up in the middle of the fairway and rolling golf carts, and it was crazy. Needless to say, they didn't have the second annual Walzer Open. That was one and done. Well, I mean, you give free golf and free liquor to a bunch of 25-year-olds. What the hell do you think is going to happen?
Right. And then you get a bunch of people that show up that don't golf. They're just here because, well, free alcohol, and we're just going to party and be loud and, like you're saying, roll golf carts.
Well, one of our business managers, a young woman from the Buick store, decided that she was going to tell Jack and Paul off and pulled the golf cart up in front of the tee box and opened up the FU Uzi. Oh.
Well.
Anyway. It was a different time, 40 years ago.
Yeah, 40 years ago.
She should be getting out about now, I think.
You think so? That's the whole deal? Golfing is an interesting situation. There's no question about that. Well, last year you guys played golf year-round, didn't you? Pretty much?
Yeah, apparently. I talked to my neighbors here, and they moved in January, and they were sitting out on the deck having cocktails watching people play golf in the middle of the month.
In January?
Yeah.
In Minnesota?
Yep.
That's
and this is a pretty nice course. You know, there are some courses that they'll snow plow them so they can make a little bit of money in April, but, you know, this one, it must have been, you know, playable, at least in decent shape, so.
Plus, you got Kyle Smoking Oak right there too, baby. Go have
right.
a little great chow. I love that place. The hotel.
I finally figured out why I like Red Wing so much, other than the fact that people are really nice, and there are so many KQ listeners around here.
Oh God,
my
yes.
God,
Oh,
we were out for a walk the first week we were here, and just started talking to this guy, and he goes, are you the guy that's on with that Tom Barnard? I said, yep. He goes, yeah, shit, you look older than I thought. I said, well, that's a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it immensely.
The real reason I love it is that it's so hilly, and it reminds me of Vermont. This does not feel like a Midwestern city at all. Nothing that there's anything wrong with Midwestern towns, but this really feels a lot like New England.
No, it's great. I mean, I just, that whole town, like I said, Barn Bluff, love taking that little walk. And I suppose it's a hike because it's uphill the whole way up and all the rest of it. But
next time you come here, 2 other great hiking spots are even better. One is called Memorial Park, and it's across from Barn Bluff, and you can drive to the top and then walk the trails. Believe it or not, the cemetery in town is gorgeous. It's called Oakwood Cemetery. It's just downright breathtaking. It's cool.
Was there anybody you wanted to see that was in there that wasn't?
Well, the funny thing is, I went by and I saw 2 or 3 names that were like some boating friends of ours. Their last name is Von Bargen, and I took a picture. I said, "Any relation?" "Yep, that's Grandpa. The whole family's from Red Wing," and blah 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 blah. And this is a small town.
It's a great town. Those old buildings, they didn't tear them all down. Thank God.
Yeah.
I love those old buildings.
Yep.
Just beautiful.
Absolutely. Doug, were you affected by the floods at all down there?
No. They, when the river floods, it just floods the basement, the basin. We're probably 300 feet above the river where we are. So yeah, it doesn't really get into the town here. Stillwater is about the only river town that gets affected by spring floods on the rivers.
Yeah.
Parts of Hastings do, but most of them are high enough up that it really doesn't have any effect.
Yeah, so one thing that we do need to understand is, people from the Twin Cities, you go north, east, west, south, you run into some great towns, man.
Yeah.
All those towns along the border in Wisconsin, I just love going over there, just having a ball, playing golf over there a lot back in the old days with Jeff Warner and his brother. Played in the NHL, and then we'd go drink and piss people off. It was wonderful. It was fantastic.
But you just play 2 holes and then hit the bar?
That was pretty much
Don't
the deal
lie.
back then. But, I mean, think how lucky we are. I mean, you got these places like all those places over in Wisconsin, all those places down by Red Wing that are so fantastic. You go west, you run into it's wonderful. It's a great place to live. Twin Cities are a great place to live, no matter what anyone wants to think.
No, I agree.
It is fantastic. Should we probably take a break here, come back, schmooze a little bit, see what happens? Got to bring that Hunyuk on. What's her name again? KB2? Is that it?
Yeah. I like where you're going with this.
Works for me. We'll take a break, be right back, schmooze a little more, and then we will bring Kristyn Burtt into the mix right after this. My Pillow is glad to announce their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They will not last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers that haven't been on sale for over a year. Regular price of $119.98 are now only $59.98. The 6-pack towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. From bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. Go to MyPillow.com, call 800-516-5146. Be sure to use promo code TOM to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or the 6-piece towel sets for just $29.98, but that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146 today. And please do use promo code TOM.
This is Brett Paul from Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley. We've always had a professional sales staff on our show floors, but recently have added a few more to the arsenal. Neil Hadding was a salesperson at Valley for over 2 decades. Probably the best truck guy around. He left for a management position elsewhere, but decided to kick back and return to work with thousands of his old friends and customers. It's a similar story with Tim Condon. He spent many years in the sales and finance at Valley before spending time in Alaska, to the relief of many, many friends and customers who returned a few years back. Not a returnee, but a welcome addition to our seasoned staff is Charlie Fink. Charlie followed Neil to Apple Valley to head up the finance department. He is well known to many Twin City car customers after being in the business for over 3 decades. If you're looking for a familiar face or just the face of experience, visit one of these professionals at Jim Paul's Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings, or at valleycardealers.com.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
So, Doug Sprinthal with us, Tevin, AJ, the whole shooting match, just kind of checking out the news. Bringing in Kristyn Burtt just a couple of minutes, well, about 10 minutes.
I got some breaking news.
What's that?
Did you hear about our new pick for the ambassador of the Bahamas?
No.
Herschel Walker.
Oh, I did hear about this. Yes, I did. He graduated college, you know.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he went back to college.
Yeah, and not everybody does that.
I mean,
Not everybody does.
whether you like Trump or not, at least things aren't boring. I wonder what Herschel will do. That's probably a pretty good job, wouldn't you think? Go live in the Bahamas.
I would think wouldn't be too bad. You know, worse things could happen to you.
Yeah.
No question about it. Are we ever going to get over this vicious attacking of one another's political parties on social media? I don't think I can stay on social media. It's gotten so vile and hateful on there. Why do people want to have that much hate in their head? I just don't get it.
You know, the weird thing, and this is a Facebook trend that those of us that are on a lot probably noticed in the last year, it's these fan pages that will post the most outrageous stuff.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson hates whatever it is. And right on the page, it says, this is satire, nothing is true.
Right.
And if you look at where the page is from, it's like Vietnam or Morocco. And everybody thinks it's true. It's just...
I know, because they don't bother.
It says right on there, this is satire.
I know, they just don't care. I don't know why that is or whatever, but it just... I tried to hop on this morning because I was on Facebook for a while, and that's a little tame, I guess, comparatively. It's not as bad, but you get on X now, it's like,
that's really bad. Yeah.
God, everybody just, but it's so bad because the opposite side is on there just ripping the piss out of apparently his buddies or something. I don't hate anybody that much to go on some social media site and say they're the devil. I'm sorry, but why do people love to do that? Because they're a bunch of candy asses that never stand toe-to-toe with you?
That's probably a big part of it, right?
Probably
But
is.
I think some people actually believe a lot of this stuff, and I don't know. It's good. The good news is it's likely to get much worse.
Yeah, isn't that great news? Well, I mean, looking back in my lifetime, you have to remember something. I was only, I think, 7 years old when, I must have turned 8 by then maybe, when JFK got elected as the first Roman Catholic president in the history of the United States. I'm all fired up for about 2 days. Then I find out his family's involved in the mafia. It's like, great.
Now, wait a minute, let me ask you a question. Or I'll ask this to the listening audience. How many 8-year-olds do you suppose are out there that get pissed about the mafia?
That's probably true. You're probably right.
You're a unicorn.
Yeah, I am a unicorn. There's no question. But I was always concerned about stuff like that. But looking back, I got to be honest with you, and I guess he was a Republican, I think. But looking back, Dwight Eisenhower might be the last good president we've ever had.
Yeah, he did a lot of great things for the country, and he is probably closer to the Democratic Party today than he would be the Republicans.
Absolutely.
National health care, a lot of the parties change over time. They don't stand still. There was a time that Democrats weren't bomb throwers. Anyway.
Yeah, no, that's true. But you keep moving forward, and it just calm down, everybody. Relax. We don't have power over the entire United States just because we post on social media.
Yeah.
So what the hell? Do you guys go on social media a lot, or do you stay away from it?
Usually I'm not on like Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. I'll go on Instagram, but not. I try to stay off it for the most part.
I'm on Twitter a lot of the day just because I have to kind of be for work to kind of stay up to date. And Tom, Wendy writes in here to the show to mention that there are like mute and like block and unfollow features on a lot of these platforms that can, like, if you really see somebody that's persistent of, you know, I'm tired of seeing this person, you can make it so you never see them again.
Would it be everybody so far today that I've looked at? For some reason, everybody's very pissed off last night. What were they so upset about? They're
I don't know.
Raging about people on there today. It's like, calm down.
I know there's also like, you can mute certain words, like if you go into your settings. So if you never want to see anything, like right now about the election for the next however many years, you can go in there and just anything that has election in it, you will not see, and then you
good
can
plan
later. So
what do you just look at the other two posts?
That's it. The other two posts will be enough for everybody. Now, I just really wish people would just calm down, for God's sake. But it's never going to happen, is it?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
And by the way, let's go back to 8-year-old Tommy and finding out JFK was in the mafia. Was 8-year-old Tommy right or not when both JFK and RFK were murdered in the street?
Yeah, I don't know that I can make that jump, but I mean, clearly Joe, their dad, he was about as crooked as they come. I mean, that's pretty much. But the whole, there's all these conspiracy theories that it was the mafia, and then there's just as big a group that says it was the CIA.
All right. Well, I wouldn't doubt that either. Our government is so filthy, it's unbelievable. Well, everybody's government's filthy now, isn't it?
Well, Sirhan's still alive, isn't he?
Yeah.
The guy that shot Bobby Jr.
I think that's
probably true. And I think he's Palestinian, I think.
I think you're right. I do think you're right.
He started all that bastard.
Yeah, way to go, you pill. What are you going to do? All right, should we take a break here and bring in so she can whine up a storm? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think she did. What's she got to whine about? She's out there.
Don't try to take sides against the people in studio here.
Tevin, am I taking sides against you?
No, I don't think so. I was just going to say, yeah, sure, she has a pretty cushy life. Like, she lives out in LA, the glitz and the glam, rubbing elbows with A-listers.
I don't know.
When she's at her second home in Florida. But so she whines. I'd be curious to see what she has to whine about.
I don't know anybody that works harder than Kristyn Burtt.
Oh no, she works very hard, but it's a lot of work on Dancing with the Stars.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want everybody to know what side of this argument that I'm on. Okay.
She's gonna yell at me.
You're on the ass kisser side.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. The can I borrow some money side.
Yeah. Survive in advance, guys.
That's right.
Kristyn Burtt will join us right after this, ladies and gentlemen.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Austin Bartz of Bartz Lawn and Landscape and Bartz Snow Sculptures.
I started banking with North American, I think, 3.5 years ago. All the people know me by name. I know them by name. It's fun to come into the bank and actually talk to somebody you know. So I made the switch, and I'm very happy. It's the best bank I've ever been at.
So why not bank where I bank? With my friends at North American Banking Company. To learn more about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com, or do what I do and stop by any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
So he did have a vote. 3 guys thought you were a disaster, and one
That's
thought
not
you
true. AJ's in my team.
I just said 3 guys thought you were a disaster, and one was, kissing up to you like there was no tomorrow. Oh, no response to that one.
AJ is Team KB, so we're good.
I'm part of the Burtt Beehive.
No.
We're just buzzing around.
And it's not that she's a disaster. She just doesn't have anything to complain about.
Oh, now you're sucking up. Here we go.
Kevin's
She's a disaster. She's a disaster.
Okay, let me read the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, St. Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Again, St. Kristyn Burtt. There you go. There's your intro.
My husband would be like, that's a lie.
That's not happening. It's all true.
Okay, lots of news. Lots of
really?
breaking news.
Good.
Yeah, news. So, especially about TV shows, especially ones that you watch. First of all, Bad Monkey, season 2 pickup. So,
yay!
Vince Vaughn, yes. But the big news about this is that it got a $20 million tax credit from the state of California. So, it is leaving Florida, and it'll be filmed in California for season 2.
Why?
Tax credit, $20 million.
$20 million, Tom.
I know, but
Tom.
I liked where it was. Leave it alone.
Well, you should talk to your governor and let him know that he needs to cough up some tax incentives to keep it there.
Because everything's about money. Everything's about money.
It's so expensive. You
It
have
is very
to, and you also have to remember that film productions generate a lot of money for every state, wherever they're filming. Hotel, oftentimes if the cast is out of state. Restaurants, all the way down to dry cleaning, because they dry clean a lot of here in California. I don't know if you have them in other states. We have 24/7 dry cleaners because oftentimes they need to clean wardrobe at weird times of the day.
We just run through the car wash here.
Perfect. Vince Vaughn also did not get nominated for a Golden Globe, just to throw that out there. I know. That's our Bad Monkey news. The other good news is that the mayor, Kingstown, officially got their season 4 pickup today.
Now we're talking.
Yep. And in the sad news, The Old Man with John Lithgow and Jeff Bridges was canceled after 2 seasons.
I never watched it. Was it any good?
After 2 seasons, clearly the audience was not there.
Well, I think I did actually see one episode, and I don't know why I didn't watch it, because I like everybody in it. So it just wasn't that interesting.
Yeah, I guess it just didn't find its audience. It was on FX. It really hit a lot of setbacks. First of all, it was delayed because of the pandemic. Then Jeff Bridges had lymphoma and he had to deal with his cancer battle. And then it went up against the strikes. So I think never found its rhythm.
Yeah.
Which can happen.
Yeah, I could see that. It just came back for the 2nd season, didn't it?
It did. And I think
so,
that was enough. And Hollywood is not giving shows a chance anymore.
No.
The budgets are too tight now. The economy is not good in Hollywood right now. So if it is not catching on its audience, it is done.
God, that's rather scary. So how do you know that everybody even know it exists before you cancel it?
Yeah, that's the big question. I'm watching a show right now on Netflix that I was like, how did I miss this?
Right.
And it's number 1 in the top 10. It's La Palma. Is anyone else watching it?
What is La Palma?
Okay, so it is a 4-episode series. It's by Norwegian creators. And so you can either do it subtitled or you can have the English, dubbing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it is about a family that goes to La Palma, which is off the Canary Islands, for a Christmas vacation. And there are fault lines on the island and earthquake and tsunami and what happens over that. And I will tell you, it's actually really compelling. I'm in the middle of the 3rd episode, only have about an episode and a half left, and it's really interesting. Kind of reminds me a little bit of, what happened in Thailand, obviously on Christmas Day in real life. But I went and checked. I'm like, did this happen in La Palma in real life? And it did not, but they have had earthquakes on that particular island before, but nothing devastating like I'm about to step into.
So Catherine and I should give it a whirl.
I think so. It's honestly, each episode's about 45 minutes. It's very quick, and I'm enjoying it.
And where is it?
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
La Palma, and if you look at the top 10, as of last night, it was number 1.
Huh? I'd never heard of that. That's
that's what I'm saying. Isn't that weird? And how are people discovering this when we're not seeing? Because they're not doing a ton of promotion for a Norwegian creator per se.
Mm-hmm. Right.
They're going to sit there and do all the promotion for like a Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie. So it's kind of interesting what catches and what doesn't these days.
Yeah, we just started watching, and it's apparently 2 years old. I think it's terrific. Tom, you'd love this. Have you ever seen Bad Sisters?
No.
On Apple TV.
Yeah, it's. I think it's on. Actually, I think it's on Prime now. So it's 5 Irish sisters that live in England, and one of them is married to the biggest douchebag in the world, and they plan to kill him. It's a really dark comedy. It's very, very funny.
Yeah,
Bad Sisters.
It's an Apple TV Plus series. So maybe you're seeing season 1 on Amazon for purchase.
That's probably what it is. Yeah.
Okay. But Eve Hewson is one of the actresses. We've talked a lot about her this year with The Perfect Couple. Obviously, she's Bono's daughter. She's had a really good year.
Yeah.
So a question I have for you. So who got the message about Bad Sisters? Was it KB1 or KB2? That's what I'd like to know. The Bad Sisters.
You do not know what's going to happen once we are in the same room together. I think that's your greatest fear.
It could be really bad for me. Is
I
that
don't
what
know.
you're saying?
I think so. You're like, all that power in one room.
You know what we do now, and I love doing it just to torture Jude, because I love Jude, our dog. But if I go over and hug and kiss Catherine, then don't just let her go, I keep hugging her, he has a fit. It's hilarious. It's like, you can hug and kiss her, but then you have to let her go. Oh,
That's
do
the
I?
girl.
God.
You're competing for one woman.
I guess we're competing. You're absolutely right. No question about it. Back to watching television. Television, I still think, is getting better and better and better. And is it because of Netflix, Prime, Hulu? Is that why it's gotten better?
Yeah, I mean, they're all competing against each other. They're all trying to win the race. Although no one's going to beat Netflix at this point.
No.
The budgets are a lot smaller, so I think we're starting to feel that a little bit. We're starting to feel like the trickle, like there's less content coming out, but there's still plenty to watch. Maybe things you've missed that you can go back and watch, and there's still going to be plenty of great shows coming our way. But it's not going to come at that fast and furious pace it did, especially all the way through the pandemic.
How much of it do you think is because they've broken away from the old TV format? A lot of these stories would be really hard to tell in 22 minutes, which was what TV shows were our whole lives, right?
Yeah, they're hard to tell in 22 minutes. We also have standards and practices on linear TV that we still have to adhere to. So, that's why you can have a little bit more nudity or drop the F-bombs on Netflix or Amazon Prime and things like that. I also think that linear TV feels like that they cater to middle America, and we're getting stories, I think, on the streamers that wouldn't necessarily make it to broadcast because we've stereotyped what everything is. Oh, middle America won't be able to handle that, so we'll throw that on Hulu.
Yeah, I suppose it does make sense.
Yeah.
No question. Like I said, Catherine and I we enjoy if you are looking for something to watch, you can definitely find something to watch. If you can't find something to watch these days, maybe it's on you because there's so much available now. My God.
Are you guys in vacation or Christmas movies syndrome yet? We just started watching them this week.
We are about 5 in, and we just watched Home Alone last night. That movie was wonderfully made. I mean, that is a great movie. No, everybody in it is perfect for their role, don't you think?
And Macaulay Culkin is carrying the movie.
Unbelievable.
Against like Joe Pesci. Like you think about that and you go, he was so little when you look at the first movie. He's a little bit older in the second movie, of course, because I think it took place about 3 years later. But that first one, he was so tiny.
Did you know that the people who lived in that house sold that house in 1990 for $1.5 million?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Macaulay Culkin is thinking about buying that house now.
Is he?
I saw an article.
It was up for sale last year. And so I think the news now is that he actually toyed with buying it last year when it was up for sale.
For $5.5 million, right? Yeah, because they sold it for $1.5 million back in 1990. It's now worth $5.5 million. But I didn't know that a lot of the interior scenes shot of that movie were not in that house.
That's typical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's typical. Just homes create too much. It's hard. You need an open space with the cameras and the crew. So
yeah, there's a documentary on it. I believe it's on Netflix, maybe Hulu. But it's like Movies That Made Us or something like that.
Yeah.
Filmed a lot of it at the high school that's in town. And then there was a scene where it snows outside of the house where they thought they weren't going to be able to get it. They were going to do all this fake snow, and then it magically started snowing one day, and so everybody had to rush to the house. So
there you go.
Yeah, that series is on Netflix. The Movies That Made Us is a great series.
It is really
They go through like Dirty Dancing, I think Back to the Future, some of the really classic films that you go back and watch over and over again. And it's fun to hear the behind the scenes stories. I mean, can you imagine Back to the Future with Eric Stoltz? I mean, they had filmed a month's worth of material before they fired him.
It is pretty amazing. It was just watching all these. Well, first of all, Roberts Blossom is in Home Alone 2. You guys probably never heard of him, but he's one of the greatest character actors ever born. He's the guy at the, well, I don't want to say at the end of the movie because some people might not have seen it, but he's got a snow shovel at the end of the movie. You know the guy I'm talking about? Maybe he hits a couple of guys with the snow shovel.
Oh, yeah.
The old guy, right? The old guy, yeah.
The older guy. Great actor. Never got the acclaim that he deserved. Yeah, his name is Roberts, with an S. Roberts Blossom. Really, really good actor. And that scene he does with Macaulay Culkin when they're trying to work out his problems and Macaulay's problems, it was just a very sweet scene. Really nice.
Yeah, it's a love letter to Christmas, like in Chicago. Yep. And then if you go see the second one, it's really a love letter to Christmas in New York because it takes place there.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see what Christmas in New York looked like in the 90s because it actually looks a little different than you would see now in 2024. The crowds, I lived in New York for 9 years, and the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree was always busy. Yep. Now I see video, and I went to 2 years ago during Christmas time, and you cannot move or breathe. I'm like, how did all of a sudden this become a situation where I don't know, you're trying to move and the crowd's just moving you whatever direction. Everyone's just trying to get that perfect photo of the tree.
Right,
I'm like, you can't stand in front of the tree anymore.
Oh, you can't?
No, you're like back from it.
That's too bad.
Behind like metal railings and things.
I will tell you honestly, Catherine and I lived in New York for a few years, and being in New York at Christmas time is unbelievable. It is something else, no question about it.
It's magical.
No doubt, but anything else new coming up, I should keep an eye out for, or Catherine should keep an eye out for, because unless she wants to watch it, I ain't going to be able to watch it anyway. So,
I want to ask you guys, because, I've had to do a lot of coverage on this. What is it going to take to get rid of Aaron Rodgers? Because I find him very annoying.
Oh, my God.
I was wondering, I find him annoying, and I was wondering, is he annoying to everybody else who follows the NFL? Okay.
So this morning, Trump appointed Herschel Walker as the ambassador to the Bahamas. I think that'd be a great job for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Some little dirtbag country out in the middle of nowhere and say, just go open the embassy and shut up.
Do we need an ambassador to Siberia?
Why not?
Siberia, that'd be good.
Yeah, he obviously I'm referring to the Netflix docuseries he has called Enigma right now. And I've had to deal with all of his, his Family Feud, the family. They blamed it on Olivia Munn, who was his girlfriend at the time.
Yep.
And he was mad at ABC producers because his brother was on The Bachelorette and they left 2 seats empty to indicate that would have been Olivia and Aaron had they been on the hometown dates. I mean, it's just, I'm like, listen, this goes back to 2016, some of this stuff. Olivia Munn has 2 kids and is married to John Mulaney. Like, she's moved on. You need to move on.
Yeah, I don't think the family's on the wrong side of this argument. I feel sorry for him. Wow.
Yeah, I think the only thing that finally came out of it that Olivia Munn had nothing to do with the feud, because obviously the feud's still going on and she's long out of the picture. So, but it seems like the rest of the family is on one side and he's on the other. And he says, he's like, this feud started in high school. My family wanted fame, and he's mad at them about some of that. So,
yeah, I will tell you one thing. I mentioned him earlier this morning on the show that Nick Swardson and Nick thinks the world of that guy. They're really, really good friends, and he's the only person I know that likes him.
Everyone has to have a friend. I mean, there's someone for everyone. Let's just say that. And yeah.
Yeah, Swardson just thinks he's the greatest guy in the world, so apparently he's very nice to Nick. That's a good thing.
Yeah, someone can always have a good interaction with someone I just find absolutely annoying. I can't listen to him anymore. I'm like, I just feel like it's always like a whine or a complaint or an issue with him. I'm like, you are a quarterback in the NFL, like probably one of the more famous names, because I know who you are.
Right.
I don't know who half the NFL is.
Right.
So why are you constantly complaining?
And I think I saw a week or two ago that Shailene Woodley, who they used to be, I think they were engaged at one point.
Yeah.
But I think she came out with a statement like that was the worst relationship she's ever had. Just not physical, but like mentally, it just took a toll on her. And just, I can believe it. He seems like a terrible person to be around like 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear has Danica Patrick opened up about their relationship too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He dates very famous women.
Yeah.
Thank God. I thought you guys were talking about Catherine for a minute there. He's the worst guy ever born, and she's still with him. And yeah, I'm hurt, but I'll get over it.
She wouldn't say that.
No, she would not. Thank God. No question about it. All right, anything we should be watching coming up? Now, we are coming up. It is Christmas week, so there's got to be some, what Doug just said, we got 4 or 5 more nights of watching Christmas movies.
I've got something you should watch. We watched Christmas Vacation last night, and I caught something that I've seen that movie 10 times. And at the very end, when the cops show up to rescue Brian Doyle Murray, and it's a really quick scene, but Beverly D'Angelo, they were talking about bonuses are smaller now than they used to be. And she leans over, grabs Chevy Chase right by the junk and says, a lot of things aren't as big as they used to be.
Oh,
I've never seen that before. And it goes like that. It's like, holy shit, did she just do that? That's awesome.
I didn't know that.
Now you got to watch it.
It's a fun movie, though.
For the junk grab. It's really funny.
She is terrific. We used to have her on the queue all the time. Just a really, really nice person.
Yeah, that would be tough to play against Chevy Chase and Randy Quaid when they're just going full throttle.
Yeah,
he does a really good job.
We're nuts in real life too, by the way.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're not going to watch Krampus as one of our Christmas movies, so shut it. I know you guys are all thinking it's going to be these evil Christmas is evil movies.
Well, just watch the ref.
Our little secret. He already watched the ref.
Oh, I already did. Yeah, absolutely. Loved it.
My favorite.
It's great stuff. All right, any tips from any of the 4 of you? Something I should watch?
If you like action, Silent Night. It's the it's got who he used to be like Hellboy, and he's Hopper in Stranger Things. I can't remember his name right now.
Oh,
David Harbour.
David Harbour.
David Harbour. It's like it's not good. It's not good acting, but it's a fun movie. It's action. The main 2 guys, or the main guy and a girl, are just I don't know who they are, and they're not that great of actors. But David Harbour does a really good job. It's if you like action, if you like John Wick but Santa, how about that? John Wick.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So bad it's good. That's what he's saying.
Pretty much.
So it's just called Silent Night because there's also a Silent Night, Deadly Night. That's a movie. Wheat.
Yeah.
Stabby.
I think you should watch Our Little Secret on Netflix with Lindsay Lohan and Kristen Chenoweth. That is a
all right.
delight. That's
Our
funny.
Little Secret, it's called.
Our Little Secret on Netflix.
Okay. I'll talk Nana into it. That'll be wonderful, no question. All right, any closing words?
Recommend Hot Frosty.
What's Hot Frosty?
Oh, geez, that sounds like something that Tom.
It's so bad
like
with
Magic
Lacey
Mike
Chabert. Yeah, she
decision.
falls in love with the snowman and he turns into like a real boy.
What?
Don't watch it. I'm joking. It's become the kind of like the butt of Christmas.
Okay.
This Christmas. Don't watch Hot Frosty.
I will try my best.
I
All
messed
right,
up.
Kristyn Burtt.
It's called Violent Night. Sorry, Violent Night.
Can you handle this? Oh, that's the one with the crabby-looking Santa on the logo.
Yes.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
74% Rotten Tomato score. So.
There you go. Absolutely. All right, Kristyn Burtt, any closing? You only got 2 more days of closing words now before Christmas.
I know. I have so many. I feel like I've just given you like 6 closing thoughts, but I will tomorrow.
No, that's fine.
I think we need to talk about Sesame Street.
Why? What about Sesame Street?
HBO canceled it. HBO and Max canceled it.
After all these
communists.
So, because PBS was struggling to fund it, and HBO gave it a second life, so they were getting first rights on the series, and so they jumped from 18 episodes a season to 35 on HBO Max, and they just said, "Hey, we're not focusing on children's programming anymore. We're focusing more on adult programming and family-friendly programming." So they canceled Sesame Street. It'll air its next season, which is already in the can, so in 2025, but then it needs to find a new home. And Children's Television Workshop and PBS can solely not fund it. So it needs to land on an Amazon Prime or on a Netflix somewhere. Someone's got to pick it up. Apple TV Plus might be a good place for it because they already have all the nets.
I want a cookie. That's
we can't let Big Bird not have a home. Come on, people.
I know. I loved watching that show. When we had little kids, when we had grandkids, I love watching that show. It's very, very well done.
I remember when it came out, it was first, I think, WGBN in Boston. My little sister started watching that in 1970, and I was 12. I thought it was stupid.
Yeah, I think it came out in 68 or 69.
Yeah.
And then, and so that first generation really like set and it was also designed for underprivileged kids who could not attend nursery school. That was their nursery school at home, learning their ABCs and how to count.
Wonderful. See, look at the giving at Christmas time. Now we're talking. I like it.
Well, find a home for Sesame Street, everyone.
Yes.
Not a problem. They come on this show.
Tell the billionaires to work on it. All of them.
Catman, time for traffic. We'll have the crabby do the traffic, do the weather. It'll be phenomenal.
Can I be count?
Yes, you can be the count.
One,
cookie.
2, 3.
I'm going to be Elmo.
Oh, I love Elmo.
Because everyone loves Elmo. You get like nice hugs from everyone.
Yeah.
Yep, it's true.
No one's mean to you.
All right, young lady, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Thank you very much. Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. All right, that's just 2 more segments to go for Tevin and AJ before they hit the vacation schedule.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, Palomino.
Umbrellas and drinks and
vacation from what?
You guys going to Vail or Hawaii? Where are you off to?
Rome, actually.
Rome.
Well, you are going to Rome, aren't you?
Yeah, roam the streets of Minneapolis.
Rome, New York.
All right, that is going to do it. Family show up in about 10 minutes.